A few blocks from the main square was the railway station. A train had just pulled in and was disgorging passengers coming home from work in the bigger towns, Kingston and New Paltz, Albany and Poughkeepsie, a few from as far away as New York City. People hurried to their cars, eager to escape the cold and get home to their families. There were so many ways to make a family, and just as many to lose them. But human nature was forged of forgiveness, and renewal might be only a word or a kind gesture away. It felt strange being back after all this time. Strange and important. Something was greatly at risk here, whether people knew it or not, and somehow he needed to help. He just hoped he could. Not far from the station was the town library, a squared-off Greek revival structure. The cornerstone had been laid exactly 99 years ago. The date was seared upon his heart. The building was surrounded by several acres of beautiful city park, lined by bare trees and crisscrossed by sidewalks. The library occupied the site of its original predecessor, which had burned to the ground a century before, claiming one fatality. Few people knew the details of what had happened or understood the impact the event had on the life of the town itself. Funded by a wealthy family that understood its value, the library had been rebuilt after the fire. Constructed of cut stone and virtually fireproof, the new Avalon Free Library had seen nearly 100 years come and go, times of soaring prosperity and crushing poverty, war and peace, social unrest and harmony. The town had changed, the world had changed. People didn't know each other anymore, yet there were a few constants, anchoring everything in place, and the library was one of them. For now. He sighed, his breath frosting the air as old memories crowded in, as haunting as an unfinished dream. All those years ago, the first library had been destroyed. Now the present one was in danger, not from fire, but from something just as dangerous. There still might be time to save it. The building had tall windows all around its periphery, and a skylight over an atrium to flood the space with light. Through the windows, he could see oaken bookcases, tables, and study carrels with people bent over them. Through another set of windows, he could see the staff area. Inside, laboring at a cluttered desk in the glow of a task lamp, sat a woman. Her pale face was drawn with a worry that seemed to edge toward despair. She stood abruptly, as though having just remembered something, smoothing her hands down the front of her brown skirt. Then she grabbed her coat from a rack and armored herself for the rapidly falling cold. Lined boots, muffler, hat, mittens. Despite the presence of numerous patrons, she seemed distracted and very alone. The sharp, dry cold drove him toward the building's entrance, a grand archway of figured stone with wise sayings carved in bas-relief. He paused to study the words of the scholars. Plutarch, Socrates, Judah ibn Tibbon, Benjamin Franklin. Though the words of wisdom were appealing, the boy had no guide but his own heart. Time to get started. Hurrying, her head lowered, the woman nearly slammed into him as she left the building through the heavy, lever-handled main door.
"Oh,"
she said, quickly stepping back.
"Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there."
"It's all right," the boy said. Something in his voice made her pause, study him for a moment through the thick lenses of her eyeglasses. He tried to envision himself as she saw him, a boy not yet 16, with serious dark eyes, olive-toned skin, and hair that hadn't seen a barber's shears in too long. He wore a greenish cargo jacket from the army surplus and loose-cut dungarees that were shabby but clean. The winter clothes concealed his scars for the most part.
"Can I help you?"
she asked, slightly breathless.
"I'm on my way out, but—"
"I believe I can find what I need here, thanks," he said.
"The library closes at 6 tonight,"
she reminded him. "I won't be long."
"I don't think we've met," she said. "I try to meet all my library patrons."
"My name is Jabez, ma'am. Jabez Cantor. I'm new." It wasn't a lie, not really.